I really thought it was interesting to see all of the artifacts and read what you guys had written about them, knowing that the family who donated the artifacts didn't really keep record of where they were from, who gave them the artifacts, um, or like how much they bought them for, if they received them as gifts. I thought it was really informational, despite having not having those that information. Mostly, maybe like who made them, kind of getting maybe a story of what inspired that person to make the artifact, like those the brass plates, um, and I don't know, maybe even like getting to read like an interview maybe from some of the people that the family that was in Cameroon interacted with, and getting to kind of get like a firsthand uh, memory of what their life was like and how the experience was for them, having these people come into their community and do that missionary work. So my mom is from Kenya and my father is from Germany. So I have a kind of very mixed background. And while I was watching the video, it kind of reminded me of Kenya and like the times that I've been there. And a lot of it reminded me of how it still is today, how there's still a lot of um, kind of like a white savior complex that a lot of people have. And even if it's not like on purpose, I think it's a bias that a lot of people have that, and they don't even realize, because a lot of people are used to hearing about Africa and thinking like famine and poverty, which I mean, that does happen. That is a thing. And though that is part of Africa, but that's not all that Africa is. And there's so much more to every country. Every country is different. Every country has a different story. Um, and I don't know, the video, it just reminded me of like the tourism. There's a scene where there are these, I guess they're missionaries, and they've killed these hippos, and they're standing on the hippos with guns and like bouncing on them. It looks really playful, but it reminded me of like when you see in the news that someone went to do a hunting safari in Africa, and you see them posing with the game they shot, and it was really interesting to see how, even though that was like 100 years ago, how a lot of the things are still the same with the dynamic um, between tourists and people who the countries that they visit. I guess like the uncertainty of where these artifacts came from. I know a lot of African American students don't know their exact background and don't know what countries their ancestors came from because of like slave trade. Um, and I think that's kind of represented here by the artifacts, because although we know what country they came from, that's pretty much almost all that we know about the artifacts. And um, it's really cool to see how, from the little information that is there, how you can still learn a lot about the artifacts and the community it came from. I thought it was really interesting that they were taking some of the like egalitarian principles that the missionaries were bringing in, but not accepting the like savior concept of the missionary work. I don't think I have any questions or really suggestions. I just wanted, like, it was a really nice exhibit. Um, I think maybe advertise it to lots of students. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I got to find out about it and come see it. And it was a really good experience.